What's up guys, welcome back to Stauffer Garage. Today's detail is of a Chrysler Pacifica that has a lot of carpet stains. Yep, that's just the trunk alone. But with all of the processes and steps that I use today, we'll be able to get all of these stains out on the interior, on the cloth seats, on the carpet, get everything wiped down and make this interior look like new. So if you guys are new and you like these sort of videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. But let's go ahead and get this detail going.
Alright, so the first step with any detail is obviously get everything out of the car that is like physical objects on the floor, whether it's the floor mats, things in the cup holders, things in the door panels, anything that's underneath the seats. Get all of that stuff out before you can start the vacuuming process. Now that you have everything out of the vehicle, start with the back of the car and then work your way to the front doing all the vacuuming. One thing I try to do is to move the seats, move any panels, move any coverings, like for the rear seat cover, for instance, here, to show the mechanism. Try to get underneath those areas that you typically wouldn't get to get any dirt out, to get them clean. I lucked out on this one that the stains from any spills or anything else were actually not under any of the seats, so the seats themselves moved up and down and forward and back enough that I didn't have to worry about pulling them out to get any of the stains underneath. Alright, so the first step with any detail is obviously get everything out of the car that is like physical objects on the floor, whether it's the floor mats, things in the cup holders, things in the door panels, anything that's underneath the seats. Get all of that stuff out before you can start the vacuuming process. Once you have everything out of the vehicle, go ahead and vacuum the front. Now that you have everything out of the vehicle, start with the back of the car and then work your way to the front doing all the vacuuming. For this car, I actually lucked out that majority of the stains that I found were now after the vacuuming, I always like to try to do the carpet cleaning then, and I have this nice table set up so that way I can get any of the floor mats out in front of me and that way I'm not hurting my back. Now I'm not sure where these floor mats for the rear came from, the ones that are that purplish color, but those are the ones that were in the car, and they actually cleaned up pretty good because they weren't super thick. But the other two were original, and you can tell that the driver's side could use several different passes with the extractor. After doing two pretty heavy ones, I felt that was thorough enough for this detail.
Alright, so when I'm doing the floor mats, I'm actually using the Chemical Guys fabric cleaner. This is the stuff right here. Carpet, upholstery, shampoo, and deodorizer, or odor eliminator. It actually has like a Pez smell. It almost smells like strawberry Pez. And we're gonna let that sit there for about 1 to 2 minutes before we bust out the drill brush and then do the extraction process. So that way it gives it time to soak into the fibers, let that odor eliminator kind of do its work and get that stench out of those floor mats, and then also just kind of help with that dirt getting released from those fibers.
Now that the floor mats are done, we're going to go ahead and set those out to dry, and then I'm going to move to the rear of the car to focus on that large stain in the trunk. For my extractor, I'm not using any soap liquid inside of it. I'm actually just using plain hot water because I'm using my spray gun to spray enough liquid and solvent onto the carpet itself to help dilute that dirt, bring it to the surface, and letting it sit for about 30 seconds or so to start breaking down some of that dirt and odor. When I do the extraction process, I always try to do horizontal or vertical lines at the very end because once the carpet dries, they kind of set in that pattern, which makes it kind of more aesthetically pleasing. And once we're done with the back portion of it, I'm going to start wiping down all of those interior panels in the back with my all-purpose cleaner. The next area we're going to tackle is the front driver's side wheel well. This is definitely probably the second dirtiest spot in the vehicle and more tedious to get to because of the location of the foot pedals and kind of just underneath the dash being hard to get to. I did find some staining that was on the carpet fibers themselves that I wasn't able to quite get out completely, but for the most part, the driver wheel well did clean up pretty nice. For the driver's seat, I'm just using the same process that I use on the carpets to start extracting the stains from those surfaces. I'm using my all-purpose cleaner to wipe down all of the door panels, and I'm also using the steam cleaner to clean up any of the gunk that's kind of solidified inside those door trays to help move it out with the microfiber towel. And for the door sills, I'm using my bristle brush to move any of the dirt around and a microfiber towel to wipe it clean. Now that the front's done, we're going to move to the second row and we're going to start focusing on the carpet itself to clean that up across the whole thing. And then we're going to be extracting and cleaning up the car seats. And sometimes I can't come up with a rhyme or reason why I do certain things. Like after I film these videos and I go back, look into the footage, and I realize, okay, I did the rear carpets, then I did the front carpets, then I did the door panels, and then I went back to the rear carpet. Like sometimes I jump around and I can't tell you why, but during the process of doing them, I sometimes just kind of just roll with what I think needs to happen next. I do have a simple basic process that I try to follow, but for the most part, sometimes it's just depends on the job itself, what I skip to and move to next. Any of the stains that you see on the seats cleaned up within one pass of the extractor with the drill brush, and I was really surprised. I thought some of them had set in pretty strong, but for the most part, they all came out with just a single pass. Now I'm using the steam cleaner for all the door frames and door sills, and I'm doing that because that dirt and everything that kind of gets in those areas is usually typically greasy, and the steam cleaner definitely helps with loosening it up and then using the microfiber towel to wipe clean. Now moving on to the dashboard, which is probably my favorite part, using my bristle brush and microfiber towel and all-purpose cleaner, kind of spraying everything down, using it to get into all the different cracks and crevices and all the different intricacies of the dashboard itself, which I feel sometimes can be probably the biggest transformation from before and after. One thing I recommend is try to use your bristle brush on the air vents before you do any wiping down of any of the rest of the car, or before you even do vacuuming. It might as well be one of the first steps you do, because what you can do is use your brush to move any dirt that's in there, turn on the AC so it blasts it out, and that way that dust doesn't sit on anything that you've already cleaned. Now that we're done cleaning everything down with our all-purpose cleaner, we're going to jump and start using our Chemical Guys Silk and Shine to wipe all of our panels down to kind of give it that new factory look. And for the final step, I always try to do the windows last, so that way I don't get any streaking or fingerprints on them as I'm doing the rest of the detail. And the job is done, and here are the before and after shots for you guys. The car turned out incredibly well. I was really impressed with how easily a lot of the stains came out. I thought they were going to be a lot more worse, especially in the trunk. Those ones seemed pretty bad initially. If you guys enjoyed today's detail, definitely give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below what was your favorite part of it. And then also if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. It definitely helps support my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next detail. Bye guys.